All right, good evening. So today is March 6th, 2024. It's about 5:30 Central here. So looking at the ES after the close, what we did today and what we're likely to do tomorrow. So we had, yesterday was a trend day down and put us in balance on the daily and the weekly. And then in the overnight session last night, we bounced out for a long time in the Asian session. But then before the Euro open, we actually moved up higher, and then we balanced out for most of the Euro session before moving higher right up into the close. So what this did is just gave us a weak high right before the open. And you can see right here is where we opened up, right below this weak high. So on the open, let's see, I'll take a look at my plan today. So I drew out two scenarios. I talked about in my mission plan where I was looking for balance, the potential for an inside day. I wrote that before the opening up so high to so close to yesterday's previous high day. So I said in my scenario one, I'll be watching for continuation of the auction higher from the overnight session. 5100 is my over and under for this idea. If we pull back to this area, I want to see buyers step in here. So let's just drop a line. I actually deleted all my lines. So 5100, and I'll show you the reason why I was watching this area. I'm going to go ahead and close out this overnight session now so that we can see the rest of the chart better. $51.21 is high day where I'm looking for initial resistance. So on the open, let me mark this out too. This will be our gap low. So we're fixing to not be able to see that when I open this one up. So I'll be looking for initial resistance at 51.21. If we can build above, I'll look for the gap to fill. If we find sellers here, I'll look for reversion to the over-under. So because we had the overnight session, it was so long, we were opening up close to this level. I went ahead and took a short early in the session, pretty close right after the open. And that was because we were so long. That's an area where I can get a good entry. And if it doesn't work out, I can usually get out of it without too much risk. And we saw a pretty good move down. So 51.21 or where is it? 5100 is my over under for this idea. If we pull back to this area, I want to see buyers step in. So we found initial resistance there. We pulled back to this 5100. I didn't take this trade. We had the tempo coming into that area was still pretty strong. And I was a little nervous about trading, inside of yesterday's range. So I just skipped this one because we still had a lot of information coming out today. But I want to talk about the reason why. So I talked about why I took it up here. The reason why I wanted to take a long here was because of all of this, all of these highs right here. So we made a lot of highs in our profile yesterday. So I think this big area right here, we had all these shorts building up. They probably had their stops up here. Quite a lot of them had their stops. It's just an assumption, but it tends to play out. So I was looking for this initial reaction here. Some of these stops there were these shorts that were in trouble from this big move overnight. I thought might try to get out of their trades here, get out break even, small loss, and that would give us a bid that we could move higher and a good entry. And we got a good initial reaction, but then we kind of hung out in this area for a while. So overall, I was glad I didn't take the trade, even though it worked out pretty good. You miss some, that's just the way it is. But we did move back up in this 51.21. We built above. And then I was looking for 51.28 as half gap. So that's one area I was looking for potential resistance. So this is 51.28 right here. You can see it a little better on this chart. This is you can see, let's move this out of the way for a second. This is a 51.28 area. So you can see where we ran up into this area and we found strong sellers here. It was a quick move down. So, but then 51.35 is a gap fill and the 2 sigma up, which is my target for the move. So you can see 51.35 here. We got within 3 ticks of that area before we found sellers. And we built in this area a while. You know, they tried getting this gap for 4 periods before they finally liquidated. And that was another trade I jumped on that was outside of my plan. But one thing that I can't plan for in the morning is where the 0 DTE levels are going to be at. And looking at the chart this morning, or when this was happening, I noticed we had a big delta divergence. So we had price going up like this, and we had delta going down like this. We had the 0 DT wall here, so I looked for that liquidation. And that provided a pretty quick, pretty nice, strong move down, which we can see here. That was 15-point move when I got out. Ended up extending about 20 points, I think. So that worked out pretty well. And then we came back down in this 5100 area, and we held this area 4 times. And I can imagine in my head that, you know, it's probably just given a lot of opportunity to these shorts to get out of this trade. We reverted back to our value, you know, the center, the most fair accepted price, right? And that's where we ended up closing for the day. So if we look at what happened today, we moved value higher. So, you know, this is our value area from yesterday. We moved value higher. We almost filled the gap. We didn't really have a lot of volume here, accepting prices up here, but we did accept prices above the previous day's value. We had a normal variation up profile, so we couldn't take out the IB low. We did take out the IB high. Those are all bullish things. The things we have that maybe aren't so bullish is we're in weekly balance, daily balance. We closed at the monthly and the weekly VWAP, which are obviously not bullish. Those are neutral. We had choppiness, whippiness, back and forth, rotational day, whatever name you want to call it. But we had a rotational factor of 1, I believe. Yeah, 1, which is very neutral. And other than that, that kind of wraps up the day. So overall bullish to leaning neutral. Sets us up, though, nice for tomorrow to see how these levels play out. And I'll update in the morning, but I'm going to be watching this level again, obviously. The more times we work on this level, I think the more likely they are to fail. And then below this level here, which is one of the levels I was looking at today, I expect to see this poor low cleaned up. If we can get back above and build volume above the gap, then I think we can look at possibly going back to our all-time highs. So remember, this is our weekly chart. This is our monthly chart. Even though we're in balance, we had a trend day down yesterday. Still, you know, a lot of bullish market-generated information in our favor. Looking at the other markets that I watch closely, we have ES, NQ. NQ was a very similar day. We pretty much got all the same stats. We found support in the same area. And then we have RTY. RTY got the previous day's high. It did not get the overnight high. We failed to get the overnight on RTY. Or no, it looks like we did get the overnight. Okay. Let's see. We did. But now we have a weak high up here on RTY. But we did get that stat. But more importantly, looking at Bitcoin inside day, a very tight day, looks like they're running into supply. I'm not sure how that's going to resolve, but that's the information that we have. Crude, we had a little bit of a long liquidation day yesterday, similar to what we had in the indexes, although we didn't get a trend day down, but now we have a trend day up on crude. Gold, another bullish day, and it looks like short covering. So I talked about this in my video 2 days ago, I think. If we look at gold, we look at the delta on gold. I want to see how much they might have covered today, but they've been very short this market. So if we look at the profile, we can see it's a P-shaped profile, so it's short covering, and it didn't cover much. They're still very short, and they got shorter again in the afternoon, it looks like. So I think as long as these shorts are piling in this market, it's just going to continue to go higher. We were bid in bonds. This is ZB, the 30-year. So we're bid on bonds, weak dollar. I don't want to get into the reasons why that might be, because that's definitely not my forte. But that is what it is. So is there anything else? Let me look at my other sheets real quick. Yeah, so we had no gap, move value higher, one time frame up, no poor highs or lows on the day for ES. Normal variation up. We had 1.56 million volume, which is good. Negative 3K delta, which is neutral in my opinion. Normal variation day up. So that's it. I think it was a good day for the bulls overall. And then tomorrow we have the Challenger job report, 7:30 Eastern. Jobless claims, 8:30 Eastern. We have Powell again speaking to Congress at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern. Don't think there'll be any big surprises there. This is something I'm interested in, the 3, 10, and 30-year note announcements. I don't know if we'll see a big volatility reaction out of this, but it might be a turning point for the day if they issue more 30-year, I think, than, again, I'm not an expert on this deal, but I'm going to be aware of this announcement anyway. We have Mester again at 10:30. We have the 4-week and 8-week, which is not going to matter. And then the balance sheet, I don't think there's going to be any big surprises there, but as they discuss tightening and everything, maybe there will be some information there to take note of. And we have JOLTS Friday, and John Williams will be the last Fed speaker, I believe, before the blackout period, before the March Fed meeting. So fortunately, we'll get all these Fed people out of our hair for a while. So that's all I have today. I hope you all enjoyed this. I do these videos as part of my aftermarket research, cement all the stuff in my mind. I write it down in a couple different places. It'll go in my Substack, for my morning report tomorrow. I hope you all enjoy it. So, if anybody's watching this is not a part of my Discord or my futures room that I'm in, and y'all just want to chat markets, market profile or anything, hit me up in the comments. I enjoy discussing the markets, learning things new, helping people where I can. And y'all have a good night. I will see y'all in the AM.